What if I told you that doubting your own intelligence is actually one of the strongest indicators that you're smarter than most people? Sounds paradoxical, right? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into the fascinating world of hidden intelligence. And I guarantee at least half of these signs will surprise you. Welcome back to the Logic Room, where philosophy meets practice. Today, we're tackling a cognitive bias that affects some of the brightest minds on the planet, the tendency to underestimate our own intelligence. But here's the kicker. Research from Cornell University shows that intelligent people are more likely to doubt their abilities than those with average intelligence. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect in reverse, and it might be affecting you right now. Before we dive in, if you find yourself relating to any of these signs, do me a favor, hit that like button. It's a small action that helps this content reach more overthinkers like us. Now, let's explore the 9 signs that your brain might be operating at a higher level than you give it credit for. You enjoy solitude. Here's something that might make you feel better about those Friday nights spent reading instead of partying. Research from the British Journal of Psychology found that highly intelligent people actually derive less satisfaction from socializing than the average person. This isn't about being antisocial. It's about cognitive stimulation. Your brain craves deep, meaningful engagement. And let's be honest, most social situations involve surface-level small talk that leaves you feeling mentally hungry. You'd rather have one profound conversation than 20 trivial ones. The philosopher Schopenhauer noted that intelligent people seek solitude not because they dislike others, but because they need space for their thoughts to breathe. If you've ever felt guilty about needing alone time, stop. Your brain is simply demanding the environment it needs to function optimally. You question everything. You can't help but question everything, including this video. While others accept information at face value, your brain automatically starts poking holes, finding inconsistencies, and asking, but why? This isn't cynicism, it's critical thinking in action. Socrates, arguably one of history's wisest philosophers, famously said, "The only thing I know is that I know nothing." This intellectual humility, the recognition that knowledge has limits, is a hallmark of true intelligence. Studies from Yale University found that people who score higher on IQ tests are more likely to question their initial assumptions and change their minds when presented with new evidence. Here's the mini-hook. If you've ever annoyed someone by asking too many questions, congratulations, your brain refuses to run on autopilot, and that's exactly what intelligence looks like in practice. Sign 3, you're haunted by what-ifs. While others sleep peacefully, your brain runs through 17 different scenarios of how tomorrow's meeting could go. This isn't anxiety. Well, not just anxiety, it's your intelligence running probability calculations in the background. Intelligent people have what psychologists call prospective thinking, the ability to mentally simulate future scenarios. Your brain is literally running a flight simulator for life, testing different approaches before you need them. This is why intelligent people often seem to have a response ready for any situation. They've already lived it in their minds. But here's the twist. This same ability can make you second-guess decisions that others make instantly. You see too many possibilities, too many potential outcomes. If you've ever envied people who can make snap decisions without looking back, remember, they're not seeing what you're seeing. Sign 4, you adapt your communication. Notice how you automatically adjust your vocabulary and explanations depending on who you're talking to? That's not people-pleasing. That's advanced social intelligence. True intelligence isn't about using big words to sound smart. It's about making complex ideas accessible. Einstein reportedly said, "If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough." The ability to translate your thoughts into different languages for different audiences requires deep understanding and cognitive flexibility. This is why intelligent people often make great teachers, even if they don't realize it. You instinctively know how to bridge the gap between what you know and what others need to understand. If you've ever successfully explained something complicated to a child or someone outside your field, you've demonstrated this high-level cognitive ability. Sign 5, you have intense curiosity about random topics. Let me guess, you've fallen down Wikipedia rabbit holes at 2 a.m., learning about extinct languages or habits of sharks. This isn't procrastination. It's your intelligence seeking novel stimulation. Research from the University of Toronto shows that intellectual curiosity, what scientists call need for cognition, correlates strongly with intelligence. Your brain literally gets a dopamine hit from learning new information, even if it's useless. But here's what's really happening. Your subconscious is building a vast library of interconnected knowledge. That random fact about Roman architecture might someday help you solve a completely unrelated problem. Steve Jobs famously credited a random calligraphy class with inspiring, "Nothing you learn is ever truly wasted." Sign 6. You catch yourself overthinking. You're overthinking it. If you had $1 for every time someone said this to you, you'd be rich. But what they call overthinking, science calls cognitive processing. Intelligent brains don't have an off switch. They're constantly analyzing, evaluating, and processing information. This can be exhausting, but it's also why you spot problems before they happen and find solutions others miss. The philosopher Kierkegaard wrote extensively about this burden of consciousness. The more aware you are, the more you see, and the more you see, the more complex life becomes. If you've ever wished you could just turn your brain off, congratulations. You're experiencing the weight of intelligence. Here's the paradox. The people telling you to stop overthinking literally cannot see what you're seeing. It's like having HD vision in a standard definition world. Sign 7. You learn from everything. Failed relationship? You analyze what went wrong. Bad movie? You dissected why the storytelling didn't work. Boring meeting? You studied group dynamics. For you, everything is data. This compulsive learning from experience is what psychologist Carol Dweck calls a growth mindset. But it goes deeper. Your brain automatically extracts patterns and lessons from every experience, building an ever-expanding model of how the world works. This is why intelligent people often seem wise beyond their years. They're not just living life, they're studying it. Every experience gets processed, categorized, and stored for future reference. If you've ever caught yourself thinking, this is just like that time when you're witnessing your intelligence creating a sophisticated mental database. You remember weird, specific details. You might forget where you put your keys, but you remember the exact tone of voice your colleague used 3 weeks ago when they mentioned their project deadline. This isn't a glitch, it's selective intelligence at work. Intelligent brains don't just store information randomly. They prioritize what's meaningful, even if it doesn't seem important at the time. While others remember facts and dates, you remember nuances, contradictions, and subtle emotional undercurrents that everyone else missed. Research from Northwestern University shows that highly intelligent people often have what scientists call episodic memory superiority. They remember experiences in rich, multidimensional detail. Your brain is essentially running a sophisticated algorithm that flags information based on complexity and potential significance. Here's the quick test. If people have ever been amazed that you remembered something insignificant about them, or if you've solved a problem using a random detail from years ago, your brain is demonstrating advanced cognitive filtering. Most people's minds simply don't work this way. Sign 9. You doubt your intelligence. And here's the ultimate irony. The fact that you doubt your intelligence is perhaps the strongest sign that you possess it. This isn't false modesty, it's metacognition, thinking about thinking. The more you know, the more you realize you don't know. It's called the Socratic paradox, and it's why genuine experts are often more humble than novices. Your brain is sophisticated enough to recognize its own limitations, to see the vast ocean of knowledge you haven't explored yet. Studies consistently show that people who score highest on intelligence tests are most likely to underestimate their performance, while those who score lowest overestimate theirs. If you've made it this far in this video thinking, but I'm not really that smart, you've just proved the point. So there you have it, 9 signs that your brain is operating at a higher level than you might think. But here's the real truth. Intelligence isn't about feeling smart. It's about staying curious, questioning assumptions, and never stopping learning.